A food war is brewing, and American farmers and ranchers are on the front lines. Family-owned farms are the backbone of America. 98% of U.S. farms are operated by families. 86% of all U.S. agricultural products are produced on family farms and ranches. In 2018, $140 billion worth of American agricultural products were exported to the world, making the U.S. by far the world's top food exporter. Their blood, sweat, and tears bring food to tables across America and the world. Most of us don't give much thought to where our food is coming from. Farmers and ranchers of this great nation, working tirelessly from dusk till dawn. It's a thankless job, but if you asked any farmers, they'd probably tell you it's not a job. It's a way of life, a family tradition, passed down through generations, and they wouldn't have it any other way. It's a dream, the American dream. But this dream is dying. The backbone of America is being crushed under the weight of the Biden administration's policies. Under Biden's American Families Plan, family farmers would struggle to pay huge taxes when a farm is passed down from one generation to the next, a burden the next generation couldn't possibly afford, essentially forcing many families to sell their farms. And as the average age has reached 60 years old, more than a third of all family farmers are reaching the time to pass down their legacies to the next generation. More than 370 million acres will likely trade hands in the next 15 years. That's more than 40% of all American farmland. Listen to this owner of McDowell Ranch, Pat McDowell, explain how Biden's plan would affect his family's ranch.
Losing stepped-up basis will be a slow death for our ranch. Biden's proposal of capital gains at death will be an immediate death blow for McDowell Ranch. At the death of the first of us brothers, I estimate his estate will owe $1 million. We do not have a fraction of that kind of cash available. Our cows, tractors, and land will be up for a fire sale just so we can pay taxes. Remember, it will just not be our assets hitting the market. Every small family business in the nation that has had a principal pass away will be selling at a frantic pace just to pay these new taxes. No one can make an estate plan that bypasses capital gains at death. Taxing farmers and ranchers out of business only demolishes our national food security. In closing, our ranch is not pretty or fancy. 4 generations of sweat and sacrifice allow us to have a family operation that provides a lot of food and fiber for the United States, plus a decent living for our families and employees. Our kids want to be able to continue to help feed our nation. The loss of stepped-up bases will kill our family farm.
The Biden administration has dismissed the concerns of farmers and ranchers, saying that fewer than 2% of farmer estates will be impacted, but haven't provided any evidence to back up this claim. They say there will be protections for family farms in Biden's plan, but with all the administration has done so far, it's hard to believe them. If countless farms and ranches that have been passed down for generations are forced to sell just to pay the astronomical taxes, who will buy the land? Is it any coincidence that Bill Gates is currently the largest private farmland owner in the U.S.? What are the chances that Bill Gates would jump on the opportunity to scoop up more American farmland? Listen to this homesteader Charlie as he explains.
Is there a food war going on? There's absolutely a food war going on right now. We have an entire industry evolving of synthetic foods, fake meats. And they are trying to gain as much market share as they can. When you talk about agriculture, you're talking about $100 billion industry. All of this fits very well into Biden's plan to put 30% of U.S. land back into conservation by 2030. That's a very lofty goal.
If family-owned farms are forced to sell, will buyers like Bill Gates carry on in their footsteps, using the land for agriculture to feed America and the world? That's a good question. I doubt it. The Biden administration is already incentivizing farmers not to grow food. As the world faces food shortage, Biden is pushing American farmers to take fields out of production in the name of climate change. The Biden administration has pledged to put 30% of all U.S. lands and water into conservation. That means the federal government wants to acquire more than 440 million more acres, or an area twice the size of Texas, within the next 10 years. A goal that seems impossible unless a large portion of farm and ranch land is put out of business forever. These dangerous policies are putting not just American family farms in jeopardy, but they're jeopardizing the food security of America and the world. We must fight to save the American dream, for their sake and for our own. Support your local family farms. Get involved. Contact your representatives and tell them how Biden's American Families Plan will kill family farms, ranches, and businesses that are the backbone of America. And if you ever have the pleasure of meeting a farmer, tell them thank you.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer. I need somebody with arms strong enough to wrestle a calf and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Somebody to call hogs, tame cantankerous machinery, come home hungry, have to wait lunch until his wife's done feeding visiting ladies, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon, and mean it. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die, and dry his eyes and say, maybe next year. I need somebody who can shape an axe handle from a persimmon sprout, shoe a horse with a hunk of car tire, who can make harness out of hay, wire, feed sacks, and shoe scraps, who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon, and then painin' from tractor back put in another 72 hours. So God made a farmer. God had to have somebody willing to ride the ruts at double speed to get the hay in ahead of the rain clouds and yet stop in midfield and race to help when he sees the first smoke from a neighbor's place. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody strong enough to clear trees and heave bales, yet gentle enough to yean lambs and wean pigs and tend the pink-combed pullets, who will stop his mower for an hour to splint the broken leg of a meadowlark. It had to be somebody who'd plow deep and straight and not cut corners. Somebody to seed, weed, feed, breed, and rake and disc and plow and plant and tie the fleece and strain the milk and replenish the self-feeder and finish a hard week's work with a 5-mile drive to church. Somebody who'd bail a family together with the soft, strong bonds of sharing, who would laugh and then sigh and then reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.